Hi guys, today I'm going to do some Christmas ornaments because obviously it's close to Christmas. Now this might be a bit last minute if you do craft shows, but it's a fun project to do to decorate your own tree. I've made a few of these and they're on my tree and they look pretty nice. So it's fairly simple, but hopefully it'll give you some ideas. And what you're going to need before I show you those is some clay. Well, I've just rolled out some white clay. I've rolled out 3 pieces like so. And then there's the other one. So 3 pieces of white clay. I'm using Cernit, but you can use whatever clay you want to. Primo's fine, whatever. These are all rolled out onto the thickest setting of my pasta machine. You'll also need some gold leaf, and I've got this stuff here. Let me just move that out of the way. And Misty from Love and Light Gallery sent me some beautiful pieces, some cutters and whatnot. She sent me more than this, but these are what I'm using today. So the first thing she sent me is this really nice stencil, and she's got a ton of different stencils, but I felt like this looked a little bit like holly with the little holly berries in the middle, so it looks Christmassy. So there's that. And then she sent me these bird cutters. Now they come in different sizes. I'm using the medium size one. Let me just show you the bigger ones. And the mirror image as well. So there's the larger size, but I'm using the medium. And there's also a mirror image of the smaller version as well, which would be really cute for little earrings or something. So I'm using those. And then she also sent me these absolutely gorgeous bird imprint cutters. So you've got a gorgeous pattern on those as well. And again, they come in different sizes. I'm probably going to be using this one, I think, the smaller one. So I'll just show you those, but I'm just using the smaller one. And then she also sent me these beautiful snowflake cutters as well. They're just gorgeous. And I feel like they almost look a little bit like folk art. And I'm kind of on a roll with the folk art at the moment. So I'm not saying it's necessarily a folk art design, but you know, kind of. All right, it's very simple, but it's a fun thing to do. So there's that. Obviously you'll need some Christmas cutters. I'm using this little Christmas tree and a star. You can get these from most craft stores, I would think. I think I got mine from Amazon, guys. It was a while ago, but they're easy to find. You'll also need some translucent liquid clay, preferably Kato if you can find it. I mean, you can always go to Blueberry Beads online, they have it, I know that. But preferably Kato because of the shine it gives when you blast it with a heat gun. And then I've got a selection of metallic paints. I'm just using the folk art metallic. This one's aquamarine, this one's silver, gold, and this pinky reddy colour is actually rose shimmer. I think it says shimmer, yeah, shimmer. So metallic paints, you don't have to use the same colours as me, but they're the ones I'm going with. I've also grabbed some Christmassy colours of the Stickles. I've got these listed in my Amazon storefront, guys, and they're just basically a glitter glue, but they're just so nice. The colours are gorgeous and the applicators are really useful because they're small. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So I've got the Christmassy colours, like a reddish, I can't read it, it's too small for me, but a reddish gold, like a coppery colour here. And this is, well, this is called Twinkle. Oh, they're up there, look. I can't quite work it out. Anyway, they're on my Amazon. This one's, I can't see, guys. My eyes are so bad, even with glasses on, but they're those. And then last but not least, I'm also going to be using these gallery glass, stained glass effect paints. Now I've got one in aqua and one in the holiday berry. There's other colours too, but they're the 2 I'm going with, and they do look like stained glass. I'll list those in my Amazon if I've not already done so. All right, so there's that. Again, you can use any colours you want to, but that's everything you're going to need, I think, other than your regular tools and then beads and whatnot to dress your ornaments. All right, so I'm going to grab my first piece of clay then, and I'm going to get that piece of gold leaf, and I'm just going to pop it straight on the clay like so. give it a smush down, smooth it out. But I don't want it to be perfectly smooth. I want a little bit of crackle, guys. So you can pass it through the pasta machine if you want a couple of times, but I'm just going to do it this way. I've got a bit more of control of how crackled I want it just by stretching the clay with my fingers. So just a little bit of crackle, or you can do as much as you want to. It's entirely up to you. But I'm just doing it this way, okay? Right. What I am going to do though is get rid of this extra white because I don't want it to get dirty, and I can use it for something else. Just make sure your piece of clay is big enough to accommodate your cutter, and in this case I'm using this the star one, which that's fine, okay? So let me just put that to one side, scratch my nose because I've got a hair dangling and it's really irritating me. And it's not dangling from my nose, it's dangling from my head. Oh dear. I've got my hair tied back, but I still managed to get a stray one here and there. All right, so once you've crackled your clay, then I'm gonna grab that stencil that I showed you, this one, and I'm just gonna place it on top of the clay, give it a little bit of a press, and then I'm gonna roll it, because I want that pattern to be a little bit raised. So I'm pressing fairly hard, and also it's ensuring it's sticking to the clay. But just bear in mind that when you've put metal leaf down, it does resist stick. So if you don't want to add the metal leaf, you don't have to if you're a little bit worried that it's not going to stick. But I'm just rolling this nice and firmly, so that pattern pushes through a little bit. Just give it one more roll. Okay, so there's that. Then what I'm going to do is just grab my metallic paints. I'm just going to bring them over here. I'm going to make a little bit of room, guys. I'm getting a bit squashed. All right, so here's the rose shimmer. So I'm just going to just put a little glob there like so. A little bit of the blue. You don't need a great deal. I always end up pouring out more than I need though, because you don't have that much control over it, do you? Squeeze that out. And then the silver as well. Like so. I'm going to grab what I call my stubbly brush. It's a short, fairly stiff brush. And I'm just going to start taking this paint just a little bit, dry it off a little bit. You don't want it saturated. And I'm just going to start dabbing randomly all over this stencil. Don't worry if you get it actually on the stencil, just dab it on. I'm not painting it on smooth. I want a more textured look. So I am just doop, 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 dab, 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 here, there, and wherever. Like I say, this is very simple what I'm doing, guys, but I just thought it was a cute project for Christmas. And I've got some that I've made already on my tree. I don't know whether I already said that or not, but they look pretty nice. So like I say, just here, there, and wherever, just dab it on. Boop, 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 boop. Clean your brush off. I've got a wipe here. Give it a quick clean and move on to the next colour. And I'm going to go with red and dab that wherever as well. Excuse me, but I'm also going to dab it into the blue, because then it gives it more of a little, like a purple look. Whoops. You don't have to, but I kind of like that purple look as well. So I'm dabbing it into the blue here and there. It's just random, guys. You can be a bit more precise if you want to, but I prefer not to be. Get some on that blue so it gives it a bit of a purple look. Okay, simple. And then obviously the other two colours. So So let's go with some silver. Boop, 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 here, there, wherever. Just dab it on. You can go over existing colours and blend it a little bit if you want to. Like so. And then last but not least, the gold. So I'm just going to go blop, 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 blop. That's a new word, blop. Blop. I don't know about you guys, but some words actually make me laugh. I can't think of one at the moment, but there's some words that just sound so funny. It's like, that doesn't even sound like a real word. It is, but sometimes they just don't sound right in my head. It's like, is that a real word, or have I just made it up? I'm rambling. I'm just talking out loud, guys. And I'm just doing the final bloops of these, or the final blops. Like I say, it's random, and I like to kind of go over existing colours to get more of a blend of different things. So like, obviously, like I said, the red and the blue changes to purple, and you know, it just gives it more of a mishmash look, which is what I like. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe this paint away before I stick anything else in it. And then, like my thumb, for example, get rid of that before I make more of a mess. Get a clean one. Wipe my fingers. I've got paint all over my fingers as well. All right, so when you've done that, you just got to gently peel this off. Hopefully it's not going to pull any of the gold leaf away. It doesn't matter if it does a little bit, I guess. But there you go, there's that. Now, ideally, you just drop these in some soapy water and clean them. But I'm not going to do that because I still don't have my sink in my craft room. A year and a bit later, there's still no sink down here. So I'm just going to give it a quick wipe, and that should be okay. I'll give it a better clean later. But that's what you should be left with. So it looks kind of rusticy, but it's slightly raised as well. I don't know if you can see that. It's a bit raised. And I just really like it. Hopefully I can get it off the paper now. I should have done it on the tile really, because now it's looking a bit lit. Oops, oops, oops. Should have done it on the tile, guys. So what I'm going to do now, because I made a mess of that, don't do what I just did and do it on paper. Do it on the tile. But there you go, there's that. But I need to roll out a little bit more clay to go on the back of that because it looks messy. I'll be back. I just added some more white clay on the back with a little bit more of the gold leaf, just so it's nicer on the back as well. I'm just giving it a little bit of a stretch. But there's your veneer, okay? Let me just wipe my hands again, guys, because I've got paint on them, metal leaf, probably glitter from 3 weeks ago stuck in my nail somewhere. You know how it goes. All right, now this bit I'm a little bit nervous about doing, guys. I have done several, and for the most part they work okay, but it does take a little bit of practice. Making the puffy look, whether it's a pendant or an ornament in this case. Now I have found that metal ones work better than the plastic cutters or the whatever these are, resin cutters. Like I say, I'm hoping for the best that I don't screw it up, because sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But let's go. So I'm going to get my star and I'm going to pop it where I think it looks nice. You need a little bit of surrounding clay, obviously, and then I'm just going to flip it over like this. Before I forget, I'm going to just get some liquid clay and put a little bit there on my tile. Sorry, I went off camera there. A little bit of liquid clay. And then I'm a little bit nervous that I'm a bit short on clay here. Let me just stretch this out just a little bit more. I could have done with making it a little bit wider, but I cut some away because I wasn't thinking as usual. But as long as you've got, you know, at least an outside edge, you're good. So I'm going to pop that there like so. Again, I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm just going to start by gently pressing down very gently. You're not cutting through. I'm just trying to get a little bit of adhesion so it doesn't slide all over. And like I say, metal leaf does resist stick, so if you want to not do that bit, if you're a bit nervous about it not sticking, then you don't have to, obviously. And then I'm just going to get a little bit of liquid clay on my finger, just because it helps to smooth around, so your finger kind of glides over. And I'm just gently starting to push it in, and that's what's going to give you the puffy look. I would say this is puffy rather than domed. You can call it what you want, but I think puffy is a little bit more of an extreme dome, whereas a dome is just more of a very slight curve. And then obviously if you put a back on this, it would become hollow, but I'm not doing backs today. I'm just doing the poof. Do the poof. So I'm just making sure I've got everywhere pushed in as much as I want it to be pushed in. You can do as a severe poof as you want, or not. You can do a very light one, up to you. Seeing as I'm doing poofy, I might as well make it look poofy. All right, so there's that. Now that bit's okay usually, but then what I do is flip it over and stick it on my tile. And this is the bit where I get a bit nervous, because sometimes if you don't stick the clay down enough, when you take the cutter out, it can pull up the poofy bit. So if you're scared of that happening, what you would do at this point is just push your cutter down so you've got a full cut. Take your blade and just slice through like that, and then just pull the edge away, and then leave the cutter on and put it in the oven like so. Obviously you can't do that with the plastic cutter, but I'm going to try and not do that. So what I do is do a gentle push to start with. That gives it its initial poof, but I'm not pushing all the way through. And then I go around the rest of the clay and just push it down, and that helps seal in the air, like so. I'm just, oops, sticking my fingers in that now. Let me wipe that away. So I'm just pushing the clay down like so. Make sure it's nice and firm on that tile. Okay. And then I give it its actual cut, and I do like to give it just a very little bit of a wobble, just to make sure I've cut all the way through. And this is the bit where I'm a little bit nervous, because sometimes it doesn't stick and the whole thing pulls away. It's happened, let's put it that way. So I'm just making sure I've cut all the way through, and then I'm going to take away the excess clay. No, I'm not. I'm going to lift this up first and hope for the best, and I think it's going to stick, guys. I've just got this sneaky feeling it's not going to, I mean, it's not going to stick. And I don't actually understand why, because I did one just literally before I did this video and it came up perfect. So I don't know, I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, it's going to come away. I thought it would. So I did say bear with me, and if I make an oops, I make an oops, but don't panic, because you've still got the poof. You just got to get it out of there quick and then stick it down quick, but you've still got the poof look. All right. So I apologize that it didn't quite work how it was supposed to, but I found that you can still save it. So in a way I'm glad it happened, so you can see that not all is lost. All right, but then you do have to kind of go around and make sure it's stuck down to the tile so it doesn't lose its poofiness, but it's fine. Okay, so it's still poofy. So there's that. Now I've got to bake that, obviously. Let me just clean away. I'm wondering why it didn't stick this time, because I keep trying to find reasons why sometimes they pull away like that and other times they don't, and I'm wondering if my tile was a little bit wet. Perhaps I forgot to dry it off when I cleaned it, because, you know, it's me we're talking about. That's the kind of thing I do all the time. All right, so there's the first poof. Now I'm going to just do a plain white poof. So I'm showing you a couple of different variations. But that's a patterned poof. Now I'm doing a plain white poof. And I'm just going to make sure my tile is actually dry, because I've got a feeling that's where I went wrong. And hopefully this one will work. So again, a little bit of liquid clay on your tile. Grab your clay, grab your cutter. This time it's the tree, and I am just keeping this white. Flip it over. I like to hold it. I don't want to show you, but I'm just holding the bottom with my fingers like so. And then again, just gently press in. Get your liquid clay and just start to poof it like so. So just gentle pushes all the way around. And like I say, that liquid clay really helps you to glide your finger around. Now there is some other stuff that I know people use. Is it called magic gloss? I think it is, but I found that liquid clay works just as well for this technique. So, you know. So when you've got your desired level of poofiness, again, just flip it onto your tile like that. And please let it work this time. Gentle press, gentle push, and then get that rest of that clay stuck down and try and seal in that air. I really hope this one works, guys. Like I say, I don't know, it happens where it doesn't want to stick. So I'm doing that, and then I'm going to do my actual cut. Boop. Very small wiggle, and let's hope and pray this one, yeah, there we go. See, that one was fine. So there we go. You can see me screw it up, and you can see me not screw it up. So there's that one. Just a simple white tree. I just realised what it could have been, guys, because I put gold leaf on the back, didn't I? On the back of that. I bet that's what it was. It resisted sticking. That gold leaf is a sucker. I bet that's what it was. And then sometimes it could be a case that the tile's not completely dry or something, but you know, it still came out okay. So I'm not too worried. So there's my two poofs. Okay. Oops. And I've just got to put a black splodge on there, or whatever that is. All right, so they're my two poofs. Obviously they're not finished, but that's them for now. All right, so I showed you poofs with metal cutters. I want to show you with one of these birdie cutters. So, and that bit of blue paint is really bugging me. All right, so I'm just going to get a small piece of clay for this, because obviously it's not very big. And I'm just going to pop it. I'm just going to roll this down a little bit because it's not quite wide enough. I'm just taking it down to the next setting down. And I'll just show you with the plastic ones. You're doing exactly the same thing, guys, but I might as well show you. A little bit of liquid clay, a bit of a boop, a bit of a press, just to get the general outline. Can you see that? And then my liquid clay just to help with gliding over and pushing down where I want it to be poofy. I think I'll just make one of these, guys. I don't think I really need two. But like I say, these would make cute pendants as well, or earrings. They'd make cute jewellery. Pop that down there like so. One little push, press. Get rid of that before I stick my finger in it. Push that clay down. Now obviously you can't leave these in the oven, they're not oven safe, but let me just show you. So I'm just giving it a bit of a wiggle, make sure it's all the way down. Whoops, came off, and there you go. Poofy bird as well. Okay, So there's that. So I'll be incorporating this into the design. I'm just going to get some isopropyl alcohol and a wipe, give it a quick clean. I've got a little speck of something on this one, but oh well. I'm getting glitter all over this, guys. I can see it. Anyway, I'm not going to mess with that. There's the bird, okay? I'll pop that there for the time being. I'm going to bring over the rest of this clay just to simply cut out some snowflakes and such like. All right, so I showed you these snowflakes, obviously, but I'm just going to be using, I don't know whether to use the big or, yeah, I'm just going to use the smaller one, guys. Again, this will be added into the design. Make sure you give these a good wet or dip them in cornstarch first, because they will, because of the fine detail, it will stick if you don't. And we don't want that to happen now, do we? Oh, crap. Oh, guys. A day in the life of Deb, screwing things up with clay. It's a regular occurrence, trust me. Ah, dear. I've got to try and clean that off now. Which is not going to happen because I've got gold leaf stuck in it. So I'm just going to pass it through my pasta machine. This is a good way to clean up your whites if you do what I just did. Oh, dear. Honestly, guys, you know, you see my videos. I don't hide anything, but trust me, I think I make more mistakes than not, to be honest, because I'm a bit of a ditz. Sometimes I don't think. I just, like, you know, steam ahead, and then I do stuff like that, make my clay all dirty. Right, make sure your clay's stuck down. Obviously, give this a damp, or like I say, dip it in cornstarch first. And then cut it out, and obviously that's all that is. It's just a simple cut at this point. Give it a wiggle, and please don't stick, and it did. Ooh, it's not my day today, but there we go, I saved it. All right, do I need another one of those? Probably not, because I'm only doing 2 ornaments, aren't I? So yeah, just do the one, and then I want the bird as well. I absolutely love this. Like I say, it reminds me of folk art, just the design of it. Let me make sure I've got this completely wet through though, because I don't want that to stick. So I'm going to cut that out. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, easy peasy. It's not going to stick, and there we go. I want to do that again, guys. I don't feel like that got a very deep impression. Let me just re-roll this. I'll be sorry back. Guys, I didn't push it down hard enough. That was my bad. I just want the impression to be a bit deeper than that. I mean, that's okay, but I want the impression deeper. So let me try again. This time I'll push it down a bit firmer. See, I'm being too cautious now. I'm scared it's going to stick. There we go, that's better. All right, so there we go. So now you can see it's got quite a deep impression if you do it correctly. So that's as simple as that, guys. I mean, you know, the poofiness, the stencil, it's not that difficult. It's just, I'm just giving you ideas. Now, on this one, I want to pop this sunflower. Oh dear. Snowflake. I'm in the wrong season. We're doing Christmas, not fall. All right, I'm just going to get a little tiny bit of liquid clay, pop it in the middle like so. You can put this wherever you want to put it, obviously. And then I'm just going to pop that straight on top like so. Let me just see that I like it where it is. Position it a bit differently, I think. Like so. And that goes on there like that. Give it a little press. And there we go. So that's ready to be baked. It's not finished. Still a little bit more to go with this one. But there's that. All right, so I'm going to go and put that in the oven. The bird's just going to go in the oven as is. And then my Christmas tree. I'm reluctant to... no, I'm going to bake this as is because I want this to be sanded when it comes out, because I want to sand it and buff it to give it a ceramic look. But then the bird is going to go on there, so I'll have to put that on once it's baked. But just so you know, that's what I'm going to be doing. All right, so I'm going to bake this, sand and buff it, apply a little bit of liquid clay, put that on there, and then bake it again. Unfortunately, if you don't want to sand and buff and just go ahead and do that, you can. But I want to sand and buff this, and it's a bit awkward when there's a bird in the way. So I'm going to add it afterwards. I'm going to go and bake that, and I'll be back for the rest of the steps. Alrighty, everything's baked then. Obviously this one nicely baked and good and strong, and it's kept its poofiness, which I'm happy about. There's the little bird and the snowflake and the other little bird, and then the tree I just sanded using wet dry sandpaper up to 800 grits. I didn't want it like super shiny, I just wanted it nice and smooth, and it cleaned it up and it's got a nice soft sheen to it. So there's that. All right, I'm going to grab my gallery glass paints. I don't know about my Stickles at this point, whether I'm even going to use them or not, guys. I'm just going to leave them there in case I decide I'm going to. I might, I don't know. But for this little bird, okay, I'm just going to get some of this paint, this gallery glass stained glass effect paint, and I'm just going to literally wipe it all over this bird like so. Well, not all over it, I'm going to leave a little bit where it's not, but I'm just really kind of filling in the grooves. So put it on pretty thick and then get a wipe and wipe the excess so it's just left in those grooves, look. And I think I'll add a little bit of blue as well, so I'm just going to pour out a little bit of the blue and just boop it on. You can put it thicker where you want it to get in the grooves, like so. Okay, that's all I'm doing, guys. Simple as that. And that dries and it'll look shiny. So I need to leave that to dry. But that's the bird, simple as. And with the snowflake, I think I'm just going to go all red on this one. I'm just going to pour it on there. It's easy enough to do that. Smear it all over. Get it in them grooves. Like so. Easy peasy. Wipe the excess away from there. Just give it a quick wipe. There we go, and that's that. But I think what I'm going to do with this one is add a little bit of sparkle. So really, guys, I'm just giving you options and you can decide what you want to use. You can add sparkle, not add sparkle, different colours, whatever. I'm going to go with this coppery colour, and I can't see what it is. The writing's so small. I think it's Sunset. I think I had this problem last time I used this one. I couldn't see what it said. And I'm just gonna, I know I've put paint in there. Hang on, let me just wipe that a bit clean before I do that. And I've already got paint in there, but I just wanted a little bit of, in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a little boop. Except it won't come out. Could anything else go wrong in this video, guys? Seriously. I don't know. I'm just going to put a little boop of glitter on this here, like that. Just a little tiny dot of glitter. You can do whatever you want to do, really. I'm just going to give this one another quick wipe because it looks a bit dirty just there. There's a hair stuck on it. You know, so that's really all I'm doing. And then obviously this needs something on it as well. So what I was going to do was have this up here like that. This looks really pink now. Now I've smeared it with the red paint, but oh well. I'm just going to do the same on that so it's matching snowflakes. So I'm just going to boop it on there like so. Like so, and quick wipe off. I quite like it like that, where it's not completely filled, but you can make it more full if you want to. I'm going to keep it like that. I like it. So that's going to go like that, but obviously that needs to dry before I do the next thing with that one. Now this one, I wanted to add this little birdie, partridge in a pear tree, like that. And you know what, guys? No, that's right, that's right. Anyway, so back to that. I'm going to just add a little bit of liquid clay on the base. And that's got to go back in the oven to cure, unfortunately. But it's just to cure the liquid clay underneath. So it won't take that long, because otherwise it won't stick. So you've got to have something there to stick it. So I'm just popping that there. That's got to go back in the oven. This one's got to dry, and then there's a couple of more things that I need to do, and I'll be back. That's cured on there now, so I'm just going to leave that there for one side. I'm going to go back to this one. I know it's like to in and fro in, but there's just different little stages to this. Get yourself a nice clean brush. You don't have to do the liquid clay part if you don't want to. You could just add resin or just a clear varnish, up to you. But I want to give this a more ceramic look, so I'm brushing on my liquid clay, my Kato liquid clay. And you can do one of two things. You can brush it on like this now and then put it back in the oven for 10 or so minutes just to partly cure it, and then blast it with a heat gun until the shine comes through, and then you know it's fully cured. I'm not going to put it back in the oven. I'm just going to do the whole thing with my heat gun, but it does take a little bit of practice. So if you find it easier just to do it the other way, then that's absolutely fine. But I'm brushing on a reasonable coat, not so thick that you can't see the pattern underneath. But you know, a good coat all over. And I've got an itchy nose again, guys. So I'll do that off camera. I'll finish glazing this with this. Let me just, and I'm going to do this as well. So let me finish doing all that with the liquid clay, and I'm also going to do this, and I'm also going to do the bird with it as well. So let me do one coat on those things that I've just said. Oh, and the snowflake, and I'll be back. All right, guys, went ahead and did 2 coats on these, and you can see how nice and shiny it is now. And this is still a little hot, so I'm just going to pop that there. That's still hot. And then I just did 1 coat on the bird, so you can see the nice shine it's got. And then obviously the little snowflake has got a coat of it on there as well. I've just left this last bit to show you what I did. So you apply the liquid clay, you get your heat gun. I've got this one. It's listed in my Amazon. It's got 8 heat settings. I start off on setting number 6, and I just go over. Let me just turn that off. I go over it, you know, don't get too close. Just keep moving it around until you see that shine. So I'll show you that, but I won't speak, okay? Because this is noisy. right, so now you can see the murkiness has gone, and look what I did, I scorched it a little bit. That's what happens when you get too close. But there's the shine. I'll be able to get that off with a little bit of sandpaper. Seriously guys, everything that could go wrong went wrong in this video, didn't it? But that's too hot to handle right now, so I'm going to leave these all to cure. I'm going to get a bit of sandpaper and sand that off, and I'll be back to show you how I dress them. Be back. All right guys, they're all baked and ready to go. I've decided how I'm going to dress these. So I'm going to hang the bird from the star, and obviously you need to join them together with jump rings. So I've got 3 jump rings to make sure it hangs the right way, because if I only did 2 it would face that way, so you have to add a 3rd so it faces that way. You'll see when you do it. I'm not doing all this on camera because I'm no good at it. I hate doing it. I get all flustered and then I just, you know, but all you'll do is get a little hand drill like this. This is listed in my Amazon, and you just drill a hole through there, and then you'll drill a hole in the top of the bird there, and then you'll just connect the 2 with jump rings like that. Then you'll need to drill another hole up here, because up here I want to add beads. I'll try and show you this on camera, but if anything else screws up on this camera, I swear I'm going to get everything and throw it in the garbage. No, not really. All right, so get yourself a length of wire. I always cut more than I actually need because I am clumsy, and I like to make sure I've got enough to play with. So I'm going to take my flat nose pliers. This set of pliers were gifted to me from Katie in Canada, and they're gorgeous. She gave me a set of these pliers with the round nose ones and the cutters and the crimp. Oh no, that's the cutter, and the other one's the crimp. All right, so fold your wire over at the top like that. Fold it, bend it, and then get your round nose. Now you don't necessarily want a great big loop at this point because it's going to be at the bottom of the beads, but just so it's going to fit through your jump ring. So that's probably okay like that actually. And I'm going to take my round nose. I'm going to snip a bit off, guys. I think it might be a little bit too big. I'm just going to snip a tiny bit off, and then I'm just, whoops, I've gone off camera, sorry. And I'm just going to turn it like this until I've got a loop. Make sure it's closed. So there's the little loop. Okay, I've got something on my nail, it looks gross. And then I'm going to just take some red beads, whoops, and thread them on. It's pretty easy, but like I say, I am really not good at doing this part of the thing. And there's the beads that I used, beautiful red beads. I list them in my Amazon. So I've added a 1 red bead there. I'm going to add this check glass bead flower. These check glass beads are listed in my Amazon already, but I just think it kind of goes with the look that, you know, I'm trying to go for. And then I'm going to add the other bead. I mean, you can do as many beads as you want to, it's all on you. I'm just doing these, and I'm just going to top it with a little red one. And that's another thing, I really can't see that well even with my glasses on, so that's another reason why I don't like to do this on camera, because I just struggle, guys. That's all there is to it. Now obviously I could just do a little loop on this, but we need a big loop so it's big enough to hang on your tree. So I'm going to try and do what I did yesterday and make a loop, because this isn't going to make a big enough loop, look. So what I did yesterday, and let's hope I don't screw up, is I just used my finger just to make a big loop, and then bring the wire across like that so it's ready to go to wrap. So that way you've got a big enough loop, guys. And then I just take my other pliers and just start to wrap this so it's secure. And again, you know, I'm not great at it. I'm not into fiddly stuff. I like to be more organic, and you know, I just don't like doing this, guys. But I'm trying to show you how I do things. Then you just snip the excess off, and I like to tuck in the little end there. Not that it's going to scratch anybody because it's going to be on a tree, but just to tidy it up a bit. All right, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make I'm going to drill a hole there, add another jump ring, and then attach that to that. So that's what you're going to hang it from. So it's going to look something like this. All right, and I'll show you when I've finished it. So that's that one. Same thing with this one, although I'm not really keen on this snowflake. So guys, I actually don't think I'm going to use it, but I've got a couple of others that I made with the snowflakes that I can show you. I'm just not keen on it, so I'm going to toss that, and I'm just going to add these beautiful beads. Again, these little birdie ones are listed in my Amazon. They come in blue and white, and then I've got the check beads that are already listed. So for this one, I'm just going to do what I did here, string those on there, and then drill a hole in there, add a jump ring. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. I'll go and do that off camera, and then I'll show you all the pieces that I've made. All right guys, for as many derps and bloops as there were in this video, they actually came out pretty nice. I love it anyway. So I did what I told you I was going to do, drilled a hole, added a jump ring, threaded my beads on some wire, did a bigger loop at the top, connected the bottom with 3 jump rings so the bird hangs the right way. So there's that one. I mean, you're not going to be able to see it dangle, but you'll see in the thumbnail what they look like hanging. So there's that. I actually really like it. I'm pretty happy with it overall, considering the screw ups. But there you go, there's that one. And then here's the other one, and I really love, and I didn't manage to get that scorch off, guys. I meant to get some sandpaper, and I didn't do it, but I'm not worried about it. You can't really see it that much. So that's all I did with these. This one, I did the beads, and I think I like this one the best. I just like it, but they look really nice together in my opinion. And I'll just show you the other ones that I did. I did another star one, but on this one I did those snowflakes, and I did them in white, and you can see I filled in the gaps with that gallery glass there, and then up here I just added the blue Stickles. So you can vary them, and I did silver jump rings on this one, and again I added some beads at the top. I'll show you the beads I used. You get a whole box of them, and there's frosted ones in there, like I added a frosted bead on this one, and that's the whole box that you get. They're listed in my Amazon, and it kind of gives it a Christmassy feel, sparkly, simple but nice. So there's that one. And then I did another one very similar to this, but instead of using the white snowflakes, I did them in red, and I added blue and the copper coloured Stickles in the gaps there. And same thing there. I didn't make my loop big enough on this one, but it's fine. And just some more beads, including a check glass flower bead again. I just really love those. So that's those. One's got a bird hanging off it, one's got a snowflake hanging off it, like so. There's that one. And then the last one I did is pretty much the same as this, just with a little blue flower and a couple of red beads. And I used silver jump rings on this one as well. All right, so that's all of the ones I've done. I actually really like them, and they do look really nice on my tree. And there you go. I do apologize for all the bloops and the derps and everything else, but we got there, and they're the finished pieces. All right guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy making those. They are a fun little project. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.